ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਸੈਂਡਰਾ ਵੈਗਮੈਨ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਈਕਿਕ ਇੰਟਿਊਟਿਵ ਮੀਡੀਅਮ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਸਾਈਕਿਕ ਉਹ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੀਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੋਚ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪਤਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਆਏ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੈਡਿਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸੈਂਡਰਾ ਵੈਗਮੈਨ ਦਾ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ। So you live on Sunshine Coast. Tell us a little bit about that place and how you have become a psychic.
Oh, I live on, it's a beautiful place. I don't know if you've been to the Sunshine Coast, but it's right on the Salish Sea,
okay.
Or now they call it that.
Right.
And I've been there since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And I grew up in the community, and I was doing readings for my friends and my family. Kind of came naturally to me, and
right.
It wasn't until I had a lady call me for an event that was happening in town and asked me to do readings, and I was like, how did you find out about me? But because it was the volunteer people
right.
in town, I felt, oh, I could do that, you know. And so I went and it was a great event. And next thing I know, a year later, I was getting calls from people to do readings, which kind of surprised me. And so it's been going like that ever since.
So when we talk about a person being psychic, what does that mean? What can you read? How can you read?
Well, it depends. It's different for everybody. Like for me, when I was a kid, I had a playmate, like I was telling you, and I would dream. And that's how it started for me.
Right.
And I just thought everybody had a playmate, you know, but it was spirit walking with me.
Right.
And I didn't know that until I was much older. Because I didn't have any teachers, and I was a dreamer, so I would dream of places,
right.
and I would dream of things that would happen. And as a young child, if you don't have a teacher, it can be quite overwhelming and a bit scary.
Right.
So what happened is I would try to push my dreams away, and I could always tell it was going to be one of those dreams because I would see the pattern of paisley as
right.
I was falling asleep, and I would try to wake up.
Okay.
So then I would just try to keep them away because I really didn't know what was happening. And it would be things that I would see the next day. And so if you're a little child, you're like, oh, what's happening here, right? And then I noticed that I would get different animals, just animals would come to me. And I don't know how, like I would have wild animals like birds fly on my fingers, and it was quite interesting. And then I told my mom we were moving to BC because I was actually born in Ontario.
Okay.
And I told her of a place that we were going to be here. And it was the street, the house, the color of the house.
Wow.
And my mom and my dad looked at me as we were driving to my great aunt, which I had never met, nor did I know lived in BC. And I says, okay, you got to turn down this street, and it's that house over there. And they both looked at me like, how do you know this? I said, I told you, the dream.
Right.
And it was my great aunt's house, and my parents, they always knew I was a little bit inclined that way, but that was really shocking for them. And then my grandmother and my aunt, I dreamt that they were coming over to see me, as you know, not to see me, but the family. And my mom and her mother had been on the outs a bit. And she said, Sandra, no, they're not coming over. And I said, yes, Mom, they're coming over. They got a bag and a box for us. And my mom says, no, they're not coming to see us. Well, they came over, just like I said, but they came through the wrong door. So I always thought that was funny.
Right.
So some people get it through dreams.
Right.
Some people get it through knowing or seeing. Like sometimes when I'm doing my readings, I will check in and close my eyes and see what comes. And sometimes I see spirit. Sometimes I don't. Now, I really truly believe that you can never promise anything in a reading. You have to just let spirit guide you, okay? I think I was introduced to my first deck of cards when I was about 18 years old, and so I just played with them.
Right.
And it's funny how I always say if you're really wanting to learn about what I do or what other people do, is just let it fall in your lap. Because I
Right.
started with the traditional tarot and now I read the Russian gypsy cards.
Mhm.
And it all kind of, everything that I use for my tools
Right.
were given to me.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Well, isn't it a coincidence because people do have dreams, but how many times if they get fulfilled, then we say, oh, we can predict the future or something. Now, what would you say about this? Basically, that is it daydreaming, coincidence, or it actually is it that you are guided by the spirit? And what is the spirit basically? Yeah.
Well, spirit, I believe, is people passed on over the other side.
Right.
Now, I like to be very careful how I say this.
Mhm.
God, creator, or the universe,
Right.
however you believe, right?
Mhm.
Because I think that you have to respect people's beliefs.
Right.
But I believe that we are always guided by angels and guides.
Mhm.
Coincidence and synchronicity in my world is the way they speak to you.
Right.
Okay, deja vu means that you're in the right place at the right time.
Right.
And when you have coincidence or synchronicity happening in your life, you have to pay attention.
Mhm.
Okay, it's very, very important that you pay
Right.
attention because they're guiding you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. And Sandra, do you believe that destiny can be changed? Because we all believe in whatever, we may say God or whatever name we may give, we are being guided, as you said, by something.
Mhm.
According to one's beliefs, they believe in that. But when we talk about destiny, what do you think that can destiny be changed or is it predestined?
I think I've got a couple of different ideas on that. Destiny, some people are destined to be great.
Right.
And they know right off the bat
Mhm.
where they're going, what they're going to be.
Mhm.
And then other people are like hummingbirds.
Right.
They dance the hummingbird dance until they find it.
Right.
And everybody has a destiny.
Mhm.
The only three things I truly believe is when we are born, when we pass, and who we have our children to are the three things we cannot change in this world.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I believe God, creator of the universe, gives us freedom of choice.
Mhm.
And I think that's very important.
Right. So when we talk about the relationship between the spirit and us as human beings, you believe every human being is being guided by some kind of spirit or whatever name we may give, and how do we tap into it, that reservoir? Probably everyone must be having it. But why is it that some people, like for example you have been able to tap into it, or me, I have not been able to tap into it? Any particular reason for this, or what would you like to say
I
about
think
this?
the reason I tap into it and other people tap into it is like, this is what I believe. A lot of people have put different labels on it. Psychic, mediums, shaman,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what you call it. We're all
Right.
sensitive.
Right.
And it's the word sensitive that's most important.
Mhm.
Because if you are really sensitive, you're more able to tap in.
Right.
So if you've been taught not to really acknowledge your sensitive part of you,
Mhm.
then it's harder for spirit to tap in, but they can guide you in the best way. There's been people who felt like they've been pulled back from a car that's been rushing by them.
Mhm.
They've had dogs that jumped out and
Right.
saved them, all kinds of things like
Mhm.
that. But I believe that it's simple, like you have this question in your head. Like one of my examples is I was driving in Vancouver and I said, I got this question, is your headrest up high enough so you don't get whiplash?
Mhm.
And I thought, what kind of question's that?
Right.
And I know I'm a psychic, right? I
Right.
should be paying attention,
Uh-huh.
and I'm still saying, what am I doing, Well,
Right.
the next day I got into an accident.
Wow. Mhm.
So I was being told,
Right.
right?
Being
So
guided to a precautioned kind of thing that
Exactly.
something is on the way.
So sometimes it comes in as questions.
Right.
Sometimes it comes in as a knowing.
Mhm.
Or you can learn how the first thing about being psychic is listen to your body. Your body
Absolutely.
will never lie.
We'll go for a short break, come back and learn more from you as to
Okay.
how to tap into this reservoir, what you are talking about. After this short break, we'll continue
Okay.
our discussion. So ਜੋ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਸੈਂਡਰਾ ਵੈਗਮੈਨ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਈਕਿਕ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਮਤਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਚਾਨ ਸਕੇ। ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਮ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਕੀ ਇਹ ਕੋਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਵਾਕਿਆ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਡੈਸਟਨੀ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਡਿਸਟਾਈਨਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ? ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਪਿਰਿਟ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਟੈਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਈਕਿਕ ਜੋ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਰੋਲ ਨਿਭਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਆਓ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਇਸ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ। ਕੈਸਕੇਡ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਇੱਕ ਵਨ ਸਟਾਪ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਏਜੰਸੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਟੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਬਰਨਬੀ, ਲੈਂਗਲੀ, ਸਰੀ ਤੇ ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ ਦੀਆਂ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਚਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਰਸਨਲਾਈਜ਼ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲਓ।
ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿਓ, ਯੂ ਵਿਲ ਫੀਲ ਦ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ।
ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ 6044305553 ਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ। Once again, welcome back to the program. ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸੈਂਡਰਾ ਵੈਗਮਨ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਈਕਿਕ ਇੰਟੂਟਿਵ ਮੀਡੀਅਮ ਹਨ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਫੀਲਡ, ਕੀ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸਪਿਰਿਟਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਆਓ ਹੋਰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਣੇ। So before the break, Sandra, you were telling us how to tap into this reservoir that there is, everybody has it. So how can we tap into this?
Well, first of all, it's about really just listening to your body, because
Right.
the body never lies, okay? And if you're in a place where you want to back up, your intuition is telling you, your aura is not matching with the aura
Right.
that's in front of you. And so you have to listen. Now, if you lean in, then your aura is matching, right? But there will be times when the hair on the back of your neck goes up, or you just get that feeling in your stomach, right? Or an odd question, like I said before, comes. Or you know how you just ran into a person and you just don't like them? And then you try to change it later, and when you do, you think everything's fine, and then you might find out a few months later that no, you were right on the money. So it's about listening to that quick intuition that comes before your logical mind gets in the way.
Right. Well, when you talk about the logical mind as such, the logical mind always stops you. For example, if I want to help someone, let's take an example that I'm driving on the road and I come to a four-way stop, and on the light, a person comes who's written, I'm homeless. You want to help him out, but your logical mind says, oh, he seems to be hale and hearty, why do you want to help him? So when we talk about the logical mind and the subconscious mind, you are connecting between that. So this reading is done through the subconscious mind, unconscious mind, which guides you, and you should always follow that. That is what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that you do put logic into it.
Right.
Okay? Because one of the things about being intuitive, sensitive, psychic, is that you can see the gem in the other person. You know? And you have to really let your logical mind see what they're carrying with them.
Right.
So because you're sensitive, you can see, oh, that person has a diamond in the rough there.
Right.
They're just carrying too much, So you have to really, okay, I'm going up to the side of the road. Oh, the person really does truly look like he needs something. And this happened to me in Colorado with a Mexican family. He was with his wife and 2 children. And I had to take a nice deep breath and center myself and ask, does he need the money?
Right.
And I asked him a question, and I said, will you really feed your children? And it was how he answered me back that my logical mind said, okay. And then I gave him the money.
Right.
So, you do have to use a little bit. A lot of people say you can't go by, you just need to go by your sensitive side, but you have 2 sides in there for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
So it's about blending them together.
Right. Today in the world, there are a lot of challenges which people face, and people want some respite, and they go to psychics, or they go to fortune readers and all those people, and we also hear lots of stories where people, instead of getting out from all that problems, they get more into it in the form of financial problems they face, because charlatans and others, they just dupe the people out of, and they let go. So superstitions are also involved in this. What would be, with your practice, what you do? What do you have to say to a common person if they want to, kind of go into this? What should they be aware of?
If they want to go into work, to do the work,
or to get themselves
get
checked, because as I said, there are so many, instead of coming out of these things, many times people are put into superstitions, and mostly people have financial problems. So they want to get out of that, but instead people who are dealing with all this, they put them more into debt, and
Yep.
they just dupe them.
That's right, and that's wrong.
Right.
It is our job as an intuitive
Mhm.
to help people move forward in their life,
Right.
not to make their choices, because
Mhm.
as soon as you make their choices for them, you take their freedom away.
Right.
And that is not what
Mhm.
we are allowed to do, to be honest with you. We are not allowed to say to somebody that we can change your karma.
Right.
We can't.
Mhm.
The only person who can change their
Is you.
karma is you.
Right.
And that is your choice too.
Mhm.
You know, yes, there's bad things that happen,
Mhm.
but it is, we're meant to live life,
Right.
not to stay still,
Mhm.
not to experience this world. We came down to experience the world,
Right.
to live it to our best, to our
Mhm.
fullest. So when you have somebody who says to you, well, if you come back to me for 10 times, I can clear your karma,
Mhm.
or if you, I can tell you exactly the man you're going to meet and marry,
Right.
that's not necessarily so.
Mhm.
I can tell you that, yes, you're going to definitely get married,
Right.
and that you're going to have children,
Right.
but I can't tell you I'm going to clear your karma. You have to make that choice yourself.
Right. It was a pleasure talking to you. Anybody who wants to contact you, where they can call you?
They can call me at my home.
Mhm.
It's 604-399-0140. Unique Insight Readings is what if they want to look at me.
It
I
was a
have a
pleasure talking to
website
you,
as well.
Sandra. Thank you for your time and
Thank
best
you.
wishes. Thank you.
Okay.
ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਈਕਿਕ ਮੀਡੀਅਮ ਇੰਟੂਟਿਵ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਏ ਸਨ ਸੈਂਡਰਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰਮ ਜੋ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਡੈਸਟੀਨੀ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। ਜੇਕਰ ਕੋਈ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਮ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਲ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਰਾਸਰ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ। ਕਰਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਬਦਲੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਨੇਕ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੀ ਚੰਗੇ ਕਰਮ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰੀ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਬਜਾਏ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲਣ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਜ਼ਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਫੋਰਚੂਨ ਰੀਡਰ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਰ ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੁਪਰਸਟੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਐਸੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਲਿਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।